Assalamu alaikum. I am Umar. I hope you are all well. Today topic is about debt sculpting. Before starting the video, I request to all my friends to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Let's go to today's topic. We have different website open. Let's take a look at one of them. In this article, we will be looking at debt sculpting and project finance modeling. The concept of debt sculpting is extensively used in project finance transactions and financial modes for project finance transaction evaluation. Debt sculpting is essentially a calculation of debt repayment schedule in such a way that debt services tailored to the strength and pattern of the cash flow that the project generates. One of the key ratios that lenders use to analyze the project's ability to repay the debt is the debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR. DSCR uh, is a ratio generated by the project, and then the project DSCR is compared to the DSCR required by the lenders. Often you may encounter a situation in project finance with level or annuity debt repayment profile when the weighted average DSCR generated by the project is large than the minimum required DSCR. However, periodic DSCR in some periods may be lower than the minimum required DSCR. In other words, the total project's cash flow may be more than enough to repay the debt. However, due to unusual one-off payment such as the major overall of the project in some periods, the periodic DSCR may be lower than the minimum required DSCR in those periods. Therefore, the DSCR that the project generates is variable due to the cash flows being variable and debt service being fixed. And for example, unity debt repayment profiles in some periods, DSCR generated by the project is significantly higher than the required DSCR, and in other periods, it is significantly lower. To resolve this issue, uh, bankers allow tailoring the debt repayments to the cash flow generated by the project, process called debt sculpting. When our cash flows are high, the debt repayment should be high, and when the cash flows are low, the debt repayment should be low. Using debt sculpting, we can maintain the ratio between the and debt service constant, removing all the volatility, and the ratio is of course a debt service coverage ratio. Net sculpting is generally applied when a project has a regular but understood cash flow project, or because of the seasonal demand factors which is common in the power industry, or because of an unusual but expected payment such as a major overhaul of an asset. So how do we do the debt sculpting and financial modeling for project finance transaction? Let's start with the DSCR definition, which is a ratio of CF adds to debt service. What we want to do when we are tailoring debt service to CF adds is to maintain the same DSCR in all periods when we have to pay debt principals and interest. We achieve this by rearranging this DSCR formula, divide CF adds by the DSCR to get the debt service, which is the sum of debt principal and interest payment. We can further rearrange this formula to get to the debt principal repayments, which is CF adds divided by the DSCR, and then we have to subtract the interest expenses. Debt sculpt CF adds debt principal interest expenses over DSCR. safe ads over yes here. I hope you like the video. See you in our next video.